cells. He stated that the cause of cancer is no longer a mystery. We know it occurs whenever any cell is denied 60% of its oxygen requirement. Additionally, he was clear that there was a direct relationship between pH levels of the body and oxygen. Higher pH means higher concentration of oxygen. Lower pH means lower concentration of oxygen. Unfortunately, all too often, our cells are low in oxygen, and that's a problem. So I'm going to give you several things that will rob the body of oxygen, leading to a low pH. Number one, a high intake of sugar. Amen. Right, Elder Nichols? Absolutely. A high intake of sugar. Give me some examples. Juice, a lot of juice. Junk food. Refined carbohydrates like what? White flour, bread, too much rice and peas, yams. Too much of the sugary carbohydrates will rob the body of oxygen. Fried foods, fatty foods. Give me some examples. Plantains, fried chicken, fried fish, French fries, good. A lack of exercise, a lack of water, the inability to deal with stress and anxiety, be anxious for nothing, medications and drugs, smoking, smog, and sleep apnea. All these things will rob the body of oxygen, which will lower the pH and puts us at far more risk for disease. So what do? To fortify your pH levels, start your morning with a heavy greens drink or green shake inclusive of spirulina or chlorella. It's great if you have time to juice your greens, your kale and your bok choy and spinach, but if you don't, get a greens powder, organic powder, add some spirulina to it. Spirulina is a super antioxidant that will help to neutralize the acidity caused by eating meats, starches, sugars, and soft drinks. It contains over 100 vitamins and minerals, and spirulina will increase your cancer-fighting cells. Number two, eat your fruit, preferably in the morning, and don't mix them with anything else. Fruit should be eaten alone, so half hour before your breakfast or 3 to 4 hours after it. Eat your fruit by itself so the sugar in it doesn't ferment. Okay, number three, cut your plate in fours. Half of your plate should be vegetables. The greener the better. Half of the plate vegetables, a quarter of your plate should be your starch, and a quarter should be your protein. Are you with me so far? So the first weapon used against disease is what? A healthy pH. And the body mandates that blood pH should remain around what number? Between 7.35 to 7.45. And when the pH levels are balanced, we are well oxygenated. And when we are well oxygenated, we are at very low risk for disease. You with me? Now that we've created an environment where we have healthy pH and high oxygen levels, then we have to ensure that the oxygen is getting to all parts of our body. Emmanuel, which system transports blood and oxygen through the entire body? Respiratory, kidneys, circulatory, or your nervous system? It is your circulatory system. The next weapon against all invaders, foreign and domestic, is a healthy heart and circulatory system. Proper circulation of the body is imperative because this is the system that transports your oxygen, nutrients, and water to every organ of the body. Now there's a lot to this, but here's what you need to know. The circulatory system is composed of the heart and blood vessels, your arteries, veins, and capillaries. A function of the heart is to pump rich red blood cells full of oxygen through 60,000 miles worth of blood vessels in the body. Now, in order for this to happen efficiently, three things must occur. Number one, the red blood cells must be singular. Okay, so not all clumpy and sticking together. They must be singular. Number two, it must have the greatest amount of surface area by which it can release its oxygen. And number three, they need to be flexible. Flexible. So some of your vessels are so small that a red blood cell must literally bend in half to fit through them. Now let me put this in perspective for you. How many red blood cells do you think can fit on the top of one pinhead? Would it be 5,000, 50,000, 500,000, or 5 million blood cells? 5 million red blood cells can fit on the top of one pinhead. And some of your arteries are so small that the red blood cell must contort and bend in half to fit through them. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Amen? What often happens if we are not careful with our health is that our red blood cells start becoming sticky. They become sticky and sluggish and start clumping together, which makes our blood very, very thick. This presents three problems. Number one, the red blood cells are no longer singular. They're now sticking together. Okay. Number two, we have now decreased the surface area by which it can deliver the oxygen. And when you don't have enough oxygen, it lowers the pH. And when the pH is lower, the body gets toxic and starts the process of disease. And number three, when they are sticky and clumped together, they are no longer flexible and able to pass one by one through the arteries. When this happens, the nervous system will signal the heart to increase the pressure and start pumping harder. The heart believing that if the pressure was higher, it could force the blood through. If the pressure stays higher over time, what do you get? High blood pressure and heart disease. So then what causes thick, sluggish, clumpy blood? Number one, dehydration. You're not drinking enough water. Number two, a diet high in fat and cholesterol. In other words, you're eating meat and junk food. Especially if you're eating meat and junk food and not drinking your water. You are begging for thick, clumpy blood. Number three, smog, poor digestion, a sedentary lifestyle, and smoking. Are you with me? All right, to fortify your heart and circulatory systems. Number one, you need to drink adequate amounts of water. Adequate amounts. This hydrates your body, decreases the stickiness of the red blood cells, and allows for the flexibility of the blood to flow more easily through your body. In addition, drinking adequate amounts of water can decrease the risk of cancer, can reduce joint and back pain. It flushes out waste and toxins to prevent disease. It can alleviate headaches. Water improves digestion and prevents constipation. And it is essential for circulation. How much water does the body need? You simply take your body weight and you divide it by 16. And that will give you the amount of 8-ounce glasses that you need to take each day. To calculate ounces, take your weight and divide it by 2. And that will give you the amount of ounces, the right amount of ounces that you need to drink daily. Number 2, you can take ginkgo biloba. Get it from the health food store. Ginkgo biloba has the ability to improve blood circulation to the brain, so it'll help improve memory and focus. Number 3, massage. Full body massage will improve circulation. And finally, and this is a must, you must exercise. You have got to exercise. Exercise will help you maintain a healthy immune system by circulating blood and oxygen throughout the entire body. Furthermore, Exercise helps to prevent, manage, and reverse lifestyle diseases such as heart disease and stroke. What's the leading cause of death in Canada? Heart disease. It will prevent, manage, and help to reverse your high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, and exercise will build and maintain healthy muscle